Well, it's Abigail Palmer. Now, Dan Palmer, Joseph Bates says, well, where do I find this Dan Palmer guy? He was told that he had a very successful blacksmith shop on the main street of town. So Joseph Bates grabs his charts, similar to the one that's on the wall right there. He rolls them up. He puts them underneath his arm. Now, those charts back in those days, those are very important to the ministers. Those were their PowerPoints. You know, ministers don't leave home without a PowerPoint today. They didn't back then either. They just called them charts. When he got to the blacksmith shop, he introduced himself to Dan Palmer and said, I'd like to preach to him. Dan Palmer says, I'm a really busy minister. You can preach if you want, but I'm going to continue to make my horseshoes. That was fine with Joseph Bates. So he hung up his charts. Daniel, Revelation, the 2300 days in the sanctuary, and he started to preach. Now, most of these charts were very familiar to Dan Palmer. It was only 5 years since that great disappointment of 1844 when they thought the Lord was coming. The sanctuary chart, though, that was new. That's where they had made their mistake, not understanding the cleansing of the sanctuary at the 2300-day prophecy. So Joseph Bates starts to preach, and Dan Palmer starts making horseshoes. Joseph Bates continues to preach. Joseph Bates continues to make horseshoes. Dan Palmer continues to make horseshoes. But as he's getting closer and closer to that sanctuary chart, the hammer's going slower and slower too. Finally, he puts down his hammer. He said, Preacher, what did you say your name was? Bates, was it? He said, you have the right message. They closed down the blacksmith shop. They went on to the other 19 Millwright Adventists. Within 2 weeks, they were all Sabbath-keeping Adventists. The first Sabbath-keeping Adventists in the state of Michigan. Well, we fast forward 3 years. It's now 1852. Once again, Joseph Bates is in Jackson, Michigan, staying at the home of Dan and Abigail Palmer. Once again, he has a dream. So he goes down to Dan Palmer.